What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Miss Azriel's Gaming. Now, you have to forgive me, I'm getting over a cold that I've had for at least most of the week. My daughter had it first, and, in taking care of her, I ended up with it too, so hopefully my voice isn't too bad for you to be able to check out Chapter 6 of TerrorFest, which is by choices. Stories you play. And in this, we are jumping back into it, and it says, let the bodies hit the floor. Confronting one of your friends leaves you more confused than ever, just as a trip to the library takes a gory turn. So in the last chapter, our sister died. She was murdered by the Stabby Joe copycat, and we were told by a investigative journalist, I guess, who's looking into these murders, that our friend, I believe it's Coda, the movie buff guy who's also, going to school to produce movies and stuff, he might have something to do with it. Or he at least knows a little bit more about Stabby Joe than he's let on, because apparently, he's got, a whole room full of memorabilia, I want to say. I think that's what happened last chapter. I've got sick brain right now. But let's go ahead and jump in. See where this chapter takes us. Okay, Chapter 6, let the bodies hit the floor. You stare at your screen, stunned as you examine the evidence in front of you. Oh my god, could Coda be the killer? You look across the water to find fun-loving Coda dunking Tyson below the water's surface and holding them there, his grip too strong for Tyson to break free. Get off him! Huh? The shock of your yell loosens his grip and Tyson plops back to the surface unharmed. Alright, you got me that time. Wait, what's going on? I think there's something you all need to see. The gang gathers around as you enlarge the picture and hold out the phone for them all to see. Is that Coda's bedroom? And it's full of Stabby Joe stuff. Who hangs pictures of a serial killer? At once the group turns on Coda. Whoa. You don't think I'm behind the deaths, do you? I think you'd better start talking. The evidence is weird, but not damning. I mean, it's weird. Doesn't mean anything. He could just be a fan of the whole Stabby Joe myth. I want to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think Coda's involved, but you never know. Innocent until proven guilty, right? Thank you. Still, the others don't look convinced, and as Coda stands with you, you find you're the only one on his side. Azriel, I don't know how you're so chill about this. He could have killed your sister. Based on what? My decorating skills? Guys, it's me. Coda, your room is practically a shrine to Stabby Joe. You gotta admit, it's a little weird. Coda, it looks like a full-on obsession, like one that a copycat killer might have. Look, I'll admit I'm a Stabby Joe fan, but that's only because the legend's what inspired me to study film in the first place. That, and you and Destiny, of course. Us? What did we do? Coda shrugs and shoots you a cringed smile. I knew the legend of Stabby Joe like everyone else in town, so I just assumed all the nasty things people said about the Carpenters was true. Well, geez, with friends like you, who needs enemies? Oh, come on. Everything about Stabby Joe portrays him as a crazed maniac, but when I met you and Destiny, you guys were so normal. That's all fine, well, and good, but what's it all got to do with the cost of apples in Cordonia? It made me realize that there were real people attached to the legend, and they deserve better than the sensationalism. Oh my goodness. Stupid sick brain. Sensationalizing of their ancestors. That realization sparked an obsession with portraying horror stories with compassion, and it's how I got into one of the best film schools in the country. Okay, but what about the Stabby Joe shrine? How come you've never mentioned any of this before? Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't he have mentioned it at some point? None of us knew you felt this strongly, and it's making me wonder whether you're making all this up to save your skin. Destiny knew. She even starred in some of my first movies. Without her, I don't know if I'd have had the courage to go as far as I have with my work. Too bad she can't collaborate that, on account being dead and all. Maybe, but on film, she's alive and kicking, so if you want to see the proof, say the word. So, you're not the Stabby Joe copycat killer? No! Okay. Just wanted you to say it out loud. Guys, I don't think you understand how brutal this guy was. I couldn't kill anyone, but especially not like he did. Coda shudders at the thought, and something about his reaction piques your interest. What do you mean, not like he did? I'll spare you the details, but he basically tortured his victims. Their deaths were slow and super painful. That's interesting. The coroner said Destiny's death would have been near painless, like falling asleep. You close your eyes and your mind's eye replays the moment your sister gradually slipped away, her face serene. Yeah. That's definitely not how Stabby Joe killed. I wonder what else is different about our copycat. If you're serious, I just watched a reenactment of Stabby Joe's murders based on the prison guard's testimony. I could show you if you want. Okay, so learn about what differentiates the old Stabby Joe from the new to build on your profile of the copycat. Remember, watching all the Stabby Joe lore will earn you a massive boost to your fortitude score. Well, of course we're doing that, so watch the reenactment, show me. You look around at the rest of your friends. You guys in? Where you go, we go, Azrael. Yeah, we've got your back. One by one, your friends all nod and Coda claps his hands together. Alright then, follow me. The five of you get dressed and Coda leads the way back to his house. There, the five of you settle in around the TV as he digs through piles of Stabby Joe's movies. Your grandma lets you keep all this in her house? She may or may not think I'm watching soaps. What can I say? Yunsi lets me live my life, and I let her live hers. Honestly, I think we're both afraid of what we'd find if we snooped. Got it? Coda holds up a VHS and pops it in the player before joining you on the couch. The intro for a staticky B-list film fills the screen. Now playing as Morlick Island Penitentiary prison guard Tommy Danes. Your face still smarting from the sting of Stabby Joe's blade, you pace inside of the criminal's empty cell. I can't believe he's gone. Give it a rest, Danes. We got people searching the prison. He can't have gone far. But he shouldn't have been able to get out of his cell at all. It's just not possible unless... You sweep your light around the cell. I should look for clues behind the mattress, the sink, or the chair. Let's try the sink. You grip the heavy metal box with two hands and muscle it away from the wall, only to hear the jangle of metal hitting the concrete floor. What the? You stoop and sweep your hand across the dusty floor to find a key. Found how he got out. Now what else are you hiding, Campbell? You set about tossing the cell, and as you rip the dirty mattress away from the wall, you find a crudely dug hole in the floor. Holy. It looks like it drops into a proper tunnel underneath the cell. You flash your light inside, but nothing but the rats stir. Within seconds, you've made up your mind. Get on the radio. Tell everyone they need to widen the search perimeters. What are you gonna do? I'm going in. Oh, he's brave. You brace yourself before dropping the 6 or so feet into the tunnel below. I can see his footprints headed in that direction. I should call after him and give him the chance to surrender or try and sneak up on him. We're not going to call at him. We're going to sneak. You keep the beam of your flashlight low to the ground, following the footsteps in the dirt and keeping yours as quiet as possible until the dirt underfoot turns to stone and the trail of footprints runs cold. Damn it. You let your flashlight illuminate and the rest of the tunnel ahead and find yourself at a crossroads. I'll go left or right? Ugh. I don't know. Let's go right. You head down the right tunnel, listening carefully for any sign of movement up ahead. How long has he been planning this? And if he has something to dig his way down here, what else has he managed to get his hands on? Suddenly, a soft sound up ahead stops you in your tracks. I hear footsteps, I'm sure of it. I must be going the right way. You pick up the pace doing your best to stay silent until a piercing scream sounds from somewhere up ahead. That sounds like a woman. You take off sprinting down the tunnel, narrowly avoiding a support beam as you skid around the corner, only to see Stabby Joe wielding a bloody knife and standing over the body of a young woman. No! Stop right there, Campbell! But he barely glances at you before tearing off down the tunnel, leaving you to deal with the woman bleeding on the ground. I should run after him, take care of the woman. Oh man, is this a bad choice? Like, instinctively I would take care of the person, because nobody else followed me down there, and if there's a chance to save her, I would want to save her, but I also don't want to lose him, but I'm gonna stop to take care of the woman. You watch him go, fury burning in your chest, but rush to the young woman's side. Miss, stay with me. You eye the deep slash across her neck. Oh damn, neck wound, apply pressure. And tear open her dress to reveal dark pools of blood from wounds at her stomach. Stab wounds, apply pressure. But as you render aid, the victim moans in agonizing pain, and you know there's nothing that can be done for her. I'm sorry for your pain, miss. Everything will be alright soon. Her eyes drift over to try and focus on you. Why? But her breath runs out and she stops, her eyes frozen open, paralyzed with pain and fear. You sit there in silence, holding her hand until the end. Damn you, Campbell. I swear I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth if I have to. As the credits roll, your stomach churns. Did you see those slashes on her stomach? Yeah, they did look pretty bad. The wounds are based on the real coroner's report from the first victim. Bleeding out from the stomach can take like hours, depending on the location of the injury. That was kind of his thing. The only quick death that came from him was the guards, and the theory is that he did it out of respect. Coda, I guess I get it. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, waiting until the guard was nearby to kill that woman was a pure challenge, and it looked like Stabby Joe was having fun. Pretty twisted way to show respect, but I guess in the killer's mind they were probably friends. That's our best guess, seeing as it's only the killing that doesn't line up with his brutal MO. Okay, so unsub, you added information to the killer's profile. Okay, so what's our theory then? That the copycat killer was close to Destiny too? It stands to reason, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe we should get more familiar with Stabby Joe's history. That way we can identify any discrepancies between him and the copycat. Might be a good idea. Could help us find good idea. Might be a good idea. Could help us find this psycho. And he died long enough ago that all his info should be public record now. What do you think, Azrael? As one, your friends turn to you and it reminds you of the way they deferred to your sister. Is this what it felt like to be you, Des? Because this is a lot of pressure. But I won't let you down again. You heave a sigh and square your shoulders. I think we're going to the library. Let's go. You let Coda take the lead when you and your friends reach the library. There's a section of books that mentions a story, but a lot of those are kind of unreliable. The actual records of it are over here. Coda pulls open a filing cabinet drawer packed with folders. Okay, I guess everyone just grab something and dig in? Sounds good to me. As Lucky, Zare, and Tyson crowd around to grab something, you take the first folder over to a nearby table with Coda. Okay, Stabby Joe, show us what you got. This one is records from the prison. His prisoner number, full name, and physical description. What are these scribbles all over it? You look closer at the first documents to find notes, recent ones. These are obsessive. Weird. I don't remember seeing any notes on this stuff when I was looking at it. Well, it sounds like something a horror buff would do. What kind of information were you looking for? Let's ask him what kind of he was looking for. Because whoever left these notes was definitely fixated on Stabby Joe as a person. Well, the stuff that initially got me interested was how someone could actually enjoy hurting people like that. But now I've been really struck by the public's reaction and how fear turns into hate so fast, even for people who had nothing to do with it. He eyes you pointedly, and as you remember your less than warm welcome back to town, you nod. Huh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it like that. But as Coda gets up to grab a file, you quickly check the card in the back. Coda's the last one who borrowed this file, and according to this, he borrowed it in the middle of the semester? When else has he been home that I haven't known about? You tuck the card back inside its sleeve before anyone else can see it. I'll keep that in mind, but right now I need to focus on this Stabby Joe research. As you wade deeper into the files, you find you can't help but dwell on the fact that you're related to this creep. Wow, it really makes you think. What does? Just, what does it say about me that my ancestor was such a horrible person that he inspired other horrible people to copy him? Like, that's gotta be the lowest of the low, and we share DNA. The shame forces you to bow your head, but a warm hand catches your chin. It's not your DNA's fault, Azrael. Nurture is just as big a factor as nature, and we do live in a town that celebrates him. You know, TerrorFest wasn't supposed to be like this. At first it was a memorial to remember the victims. Coda rifles through the papers in a nearby folder and pulls out an old newspaper. Here, this paper is from the first ever TerrorFest. Well, what we know as TerrorFest anyway. Look. Wow, it started as a candlelight vigil? Coda hands you a paper from a few years later, and now a menacing photo of Stabby Joe is printed front and center, followed by candid shots from the horror parade. I can't believe TerrorFest was supposed to be a memorial, and we turned it into some kitsy second Halloween. With all the romanticizing of it, I can't say I'm surprised someone decided to take it further. I think you're right, Lucky. It's more than that. Oh man, I think it's more than that. I think it's more than just romanticizing it. I mean, it can't just be because of TerrorFest, or we'd have murderers running around everywhere, right? Not necessarily. There's always the possibility that Stabby Joe's legacy spoke to something in the killer's psyche. I mean, Scream 2, the Saw franchise, there are plenty of examples of weirdos wanting a piece of someone else's murder pie. You know, if filmmaking doesn't work out, you've got a great criminal profile career ahead of you, Co. Thanks, but I'd like to keep the guts and gore on screen as much as possible. I still can't believe this is really happening. Believe it. If something in Stabby Joe's legacy really is speaking to the copycat, we're going to need to uncover everything we can to narrow it down and sniff them out. This library is huge. The only way we're going to even remotely scratch the surface is if we... Do not say the word split up. Who do you think we are? Scoob and the gang? It's the fastest way to get all the info we can. We'll cover more ground. Yeah, as dead bodies scatter across the city, I'm with Lucky on this one. Coda's right about needing to spread out, but I need to be able to keep track of everyone if I want to prove to Bex that none of us is the murderer. Okay, so new message from Bex St. Regis, moving locations, be in touch again soon. The shake of your phone alerts you to a new text message from Bex, and as you glance at the screen, the app, My Friend Finder, catches your eye. What if we all share our locations? That way no one can get lost in the shuffle. Reluctantly, the group agrees, and after a quick sync up, Lucky, Coda, and Tyson head off, leaving Zare to linger at the table, their thoughts clearly elsewhere. Everything okay? Yeah, you just got me to thinking about my own rotten family tree. What does it say about me that I'm related to someone who would keep a dangerous serial killer a secret for the sake of her image? Or who would turn a memorial into a tourist trap glorifying a murderer? What? You grip their shoulder, turning them to face you, and you find normal stoic Zare fighting back against the tears in their eyes. Azrael, I think my mom's a bad person. Comfort Zare to learn about their mother's misdeeds, build your relationship, and boost your fortitude score. Okay, well, we're definitely going to do that, because it's not Zare's fault their mother is a piece of garbage, so... Okay, do you want to talk about it? What's going on? Zare sighs and shoves an envelope of translucent sheets into your hand. I was looking through microfiche records and found an article about the first TerrorFest as we know it. It turns out the rebrand was my mother's idea. The campaign was one of the things she used to kickstart her run for mayor. Whoa, I had no idea. You hold the sheets up to the light and read. Sure enough, bits and pieces jump out at you. How good the transition would be for this economy protest from the victims' families, and eventually Mayor Jackson's inauguration in 2003. When you're a kid, you think your parents are superhuman, you know? And then as you get older and start to realize they're not, it's disappointing. But you deal. The look on their face reminds you of the nights when Zara used to sleep at your house, tears from a fight with their mother still fresh. Only now, anger joins the sadness behind their eyes, and it's all you can do to reach out and pull them into a hug. Finding all this out, it's like finding out she's some kind of supervillain. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Maybe you can try to forgive her for being human, move forward without her. I mean, I'm one of those people that I like to think that people can turn around and, be different. So, I would say forgiving her, because you always need your parents. I mean, yeah, some people have really shitty parents and you really don't need them, but maybe Zara's mother just kind of lost sight of what was really important, and she might get a chance to, get some kind of redemption. So we'll say try to forgive her for being human. You don't have to be okay with what she's done, but maybe you'll get to a place where you can accept it. I guess I'll have to eventually, but it's going to be a while. For so much of my life, I was thinking of Mom as separate from Mayor Jackson, All this is really making me face the fact that they're the same person. Yeah, I bet she's dealt with the same thing. I doubt it. My mom eats, sleeps, and breathes politics. When I decided to change my name, the first thing she did was call in a PR specialist to see how it would play. Hell, if someone had told me she only adopted me for boosting the polls, I'd believe them. My life has never been separate from my mom's career, and I don't know how I feel. As they sputter, you bridge the gap between you. You feel what? Complicit, I guess? I have no way of knowing if it made a difference in the election, but I'm always up there with her, Sometimes I wonder if the whole happy family image is what won her the office. And if it did, then I played a part in all of this. They slam a hand down on the copycat killer's notes, smudging the ink with their thumb, and you catch their hand. Zara, that's not true. How, Azrael? I helped keep her in power, and look at how she's using it. You didn't know about the cover-ups. You were just trying to support your mom. That's what family does. I guess. Zara, you need to give yourself some credit. Remember, some things are out of your control. I mean, things are out of your control. Some things are. But I also don't feel like Zara gives themselves enough credit. So let's go with that one. I know you. If you could have done something to prevent this, you would have. But no, Zara, you would have. I know you would, especially you now. You've grown a lot since high school, and now that you found your voice, I'm 100% sure you would have changed her on this if you'd known. You grip their shoulders in your hands, stopping to keep yourself in their eye line as they shy away from your gaze. Because you're a good person, and you're smart, and you're kind, no matter what rotten fruit grows on your family tree. Thank you. I hope you're right. Besides, you aren't your mom, and you can't be held responsible for her choices she's made. Just like you weren't Stabby Joe. I see what you did there. Zara pushes forward into your arms, and you encircle them in your embrace. I'm glad I'm talking to you, of all people, about this. You're really the one who would understand it the most. I guess you're right. Being related to Stabby Joe sucks is complicated. I mean, I think it sucks. Because who wants to be related to a serial killer? I know I wouldn't, so I'm gonna go with sucks. There's no point in sugarcoating it. I hate being related to a murderer, but I came to terms with it. Eventually you realize that being blood relatives with someone doesn't have to mean that much to you if you don't want it to. And being legal relatives with someone could mean even less, if I wanted it to. I mean, it's hard to get there, and will probably be harder with someone who's still alive. But the bottom line is that you're your own person with goals and opinions completely different from hers. You're right. I know you're right. I just think it's going to take a while to sink in. I get it. You take both Zara's hand in yours and look them in the eye. Let's both make a promise not to let our family's actions define us, okay? I can if you can. Then let's shake on it, seal the deal with the kiss. Well, we're going to shake on it, because I'm romancing Tyler, so deal. You extend your hand and Zares clasps it in one of their own. Deal. Thank you for this, Azrael. It's nice to have a friend like you to remind me who I am. Okay, so the ties that bind. You and Zare came to grips with your family's histories. Of course, with things this crazy, it's easy to forget. That reminds me. Did that reporter say she'd found anything about me? I'd be pretty pissed if she thought I was in on my mother's cover-up thing. What? The lady you were talking to at the hospital. How did Zare know that? You paused for a moment, your mind racing. Zare, I never mentioned she was a reporter. Right, I recognize her from some press conferences. She's who sent you the photos of Coda's room, right? Yeah, she did. I assume she's looking into all of us then. They look at you expectantly and you freeze, the message from Bex on the tip of your tongue. I could lie, but it's Zare. I should be able to trust them, right? Actually, she didn't say anything about anyone else. Thinks she did. Oh my god. See, because what if Zare is the murderer? I don't want to think they are. But I don't know. But Zare also mentioned how they have like a lie detector with them being, you know, like them going through law school and stuff. So I'm going to just admit it to Zare. I think I can trust them. I don't think they're the killer. Okay, thinks you did it. Bex thinks your mom's only covering up the murders to protect you. And you're telling me this. Why? Because I trust you. Oh, see, we got a bonus with her, but that doesn't mean we got a bonus with them. Doesn't mean that they didn't do it, though. Wow, thanks, Azrael. That means a lot. Still, they look shaken by the news, and as their feet start to head for the door, you note the dazed look on their face. I need to clear my head. I'm going to go for a walk. That's sus. Before you can protest, Zare's gone, and a sinking feeling in your chest emerges as the thought of them going out alone. With Zare off on their own, you decide to check on the rest of your friends. You find Lucky sitting at a table surrounded by stacks of files and newspapers. Whoa, you've gotten through all of this? Mostly. It's actually pretty interesting. I see why Coda is so into researching this. What'd you find? Well, I found an obituary for Stabby Joe in a paper from 1924, and so far I found 2 copycat killers that have been active since. Wow, really? And we still celebrate TerrorFest? I know, it's pretty messed up. The first one was caught and died in prison in 1970, and the other one was active until the early 2000s. The early 2000s? How come we've never heard about this? Were they caught? Nope, but I haven't found any reports mentioning them after 2003, so I guess they just stopped or moved on or something. The year rings a bell, and you can't help but think of Mayor Jackson. Yeah, or something. I mean, that's what they say about serial killers. If they are not caught, and all of a sudden they stop and there's a pause in what they're doing, there's a reason. They've either died, or something has happened where they can't commit the murders anymore, and they have to go like on a hiatus. But they always start them back up again. So is Mayor Jackson Stabby Joe? You know, taking care of people that are, you know, getting in the way of her town running the way she wants it to? Could be possible. Okay, so do you think the copycat could have started again and now we're dealing with the same person? I doubt it. I mean, why would they just stop killing for 20 years and then randomly start up again? Just explain that. I guess, I've got to say though, I'm impressed. You're really good at research. My school's academic requirements for student athletes are kind of crazy, so I've gotten used to cramming under pressure. Maybe you should take a break. I can take your mind off of things for a bit, so you should take a break. You work hard all year long. Rest sometimes, okay? Honestly, it's kind of therapeutic, you know? Feeling like I'm actually doing something to bring the killer to justice, instead of running away and letting them kill the people I care about. For one moment, sadness flickers across her face, then she schools her expression into a determined frown. Lucky, you know Destiny's death wasn't your fault, right? Before she can answer, a loud beeping cuts her off, and Lucky pats her down her pockets looking for something. She pulls out a small black rectangle and reads something on its screen. Is that a pager? Yeah, sorry, I gotta run. I'll catch up with you later. Before you can ask any more questions, Lucky disappears around the nearest bookshelf. First Sarah, now Lucky. Where are they going? And why are they so shady about it? Yeah, that's sus too. You return Lucky's files to their places, unable to shake your concern and suspicion over Lucky and Zare's sudden exits. I mean, they could be meeting up. You find Tyson next, bent over an open file cabinet drawer. Hey, I found some pretty cool stuff so far. Oh yeah? Like what? Well, first of all, your grandfather on your dad's side was kinda epic. I found an article from the 60s that said a literal angry mob surrounded your house and tried to run him out of town because of his ties to Stabby Joe. To get them to leave, he came out with a Stabby Joe mask and a rifle. And we're happy about that? I mean, it was probably pretty effective, but it can't have done much for the family reputation. Tyson quickly swipes through the files, and as he gives it a speed read, his smile falls. Oh yeah, it definitely didn't. He actually fired and accidentally hit someone. Oh my god, could my family get worse? Oh my god, did he go to jail? Nope, the judge ruled that he was within his rights to defend his property. Whoa, I guess that's true. In the long run, that must have made things worse. I mean, in all honesty, he did have the right to protect his property, especially if you tell them to get off your property. You have the right to defend yourself, but it probably did make things worse in the long run because of Stabby Joe being in our family. The mob was only there because of all the Stabby Joe stuff. They were already scared of our family, and him going out there with a mask and a gun only made it worse. In fact, that incident might be why the cops have been so awful to me now. You might be right. Still, it's hard to blame the guy for trying to protect his family. He had a husband and 2 girls inside. Tyson closes the file cabinet and leans against it. I know all the Stabby Joe stuff changes things for you, but it's the reason your life has ended up the way it is. You can say that again. I meant for better and for worse. After all, would you have done your abroad program if not for him? I don't know. Maybe not. And there's no way of knowing what else might have changed. For all we know, he's the reason our friend group found each other. Ty, you're right. I'm not so sure. I mean, he's right. If things hadn't turned out the way they did, I might not even be here or have met you guys. I guess there's no point in regretting the past because it all led me here. Exactly, and I'm definitely grateful for having met you. Me too. You have to work so hard for so many things you want in life. It's nice to think that some good things just happen on their own. Yeah, I know what you mean. For what it's worth, if we have to go through this, I'm glad we're going through it together. Me too. In fact, you guys are what's getting me through this, or want to make something good happen right now? I mean, we're alone in the library. Like what? Like... You take a step towards him, placing your hands on his shoulders and leaning in to kiss him. This. That would be very good. Without hesitation, he grabs your hips, pulling you tight to his body. You guide him gently back against the wall, your wandering hands asking if he wants to take things further, only for him to pull away. Azrael, as much as I really don't want to, I should get going. I still have a bunch of my own research to do for a paper. Oh, yeah, of course. Go do what you gotta do. I wish I didn't have to, but unfortunately, even being chased by a murderer won't be a good enough excuse for my professor. I know the feeling. Good luck. As Tyson gathers his things to go, you head off to check on Coda. You find him in the study room, feet perched on a stack of books left on the desk surface, eating an apple and scrolling on his phone. Hard at work, I see. Well, I've already been through all this stuff like 100 times, but I wanted to be here for moral support. That's what's so concerning, though. You know so much about this stuff that it's just a little hard to accept as a coincidence. I mean, it's impressive how dedicated you are, don't get me wrong, but I just can't think of movie research as a valid explanation. Then don't think. Coda flops his feet down and raises, shoving his phone in his back pocket. There's a movie section upstairs. Let me show you why I respect the genre enough to give it my best, and then you can stop thinking I'm a killer. Deal? Explore Coda's passion for film to strengthen your relationship and boost your fortitude score. Well, I mean, of course we're going to do it, so explore Coda's secret passion. I'm listening. Excuse me. You know what? If you think you can clear your name, go for it, because right now, I'm not sure what to think. In that case, right this way. Coda leads you up and down the shelves, stopping abruptly in front of one of the DVD aisles. This, unsurprisingly, is my favorite part of the library. The movies? Color me surprised, Mr. Film Major. Specifically, the horror movies. I've watched like every movie they have here. You glance around at the titles lining the shelves. The violent titles and creepy covers send an involuntary shudder down your spine. Why do you like this stuff so much? Because the psychology of fear is really cool. You can tell so much more about a person based on what they're afraid of than anything else. Really? How? Okay, pick a movie and I'll tell you what it says about you if you're really afraid of it. Okay, I pick Paranormal Activity or The Evil Dead. I haven't seen both of these movies like all the way through. Like I've seen honestly bits and pieces of The Evil Dead. I know about the movie, and I've seen a little bit of Paranormal Activity. It's kind of the same thing, but honestly Paranormal Activity would probably be a little more scary to me because it's more realistic, I guess, in my opinion. So we'll go with that one. The operative word there is paranormal. Paranormal horror in general is all about the fear of the unknown. I guess that makes sense. None of that stuff can be explained by science or anything. Exactly. But more than that, it's about things that are out of our control. It's all about making us feel helpless in the face of something bigger than ourselves. I see what you mean. All of these movies are just using the story and the spectacle of it all to represent real fears. You're basically a film major already. Maybe I should consider it. You stock up the aisles purposely now, searching for a new title to present for dissection. What about Alien: The Shining? Now, I have seen both of these. In all honesty, Alien was not scary to me. I think The Shining's scarier because you kind of like lose yourself to the I don't know if the ghost or the madness or what. I don't want to lose my mind. That's what so we're going to go with The Shining. Oh, that's a classic psychological thriller. Those movies are kind of meta because they're all about people becoming victims to their own minds. And so when you're scared of them, what you're really scared of is the same thing happening to you. So it's like you're scared of yourself? Yeah, or at least your mind. Damn, that's pretty real. Oh yeah, that's what's so interesting about horror as a genre. People think it's totally unrealistic, but when you actually break down what causes your reaction to it, it's pretty logical. And honestly, that's the secret to conquering any fear. Wow, you're right. I had never thought of it like that, but now that you explain it, it's so obvious. Right? And then there's the classic slasher films like Scream, which is kind of what we're dealing with in real life. Coda, what does being afraid of those say about a person? I wish we were in a movie right now. I mean, that might be a good question to ask him. What does being afraid of those say about a person? You know, or we could just say we just wish we were anywhere now right now, but let's go with if we wish we were in a movie. It'd be so much easier to predict what was going to happen. I mean, that's how I've been treating it, and you gotta admit, I've been right about a lot. That's true. Why is that? Slasher movies are based on the real-life phenomenon of serial killers, so it's not totally crazy for things to line up if you study the best killers. See, saying things like that makes you sound awfully suspicious. Yeah, I heard it that time. But do you see what I mean now? Can you at least imagine why I love it so much? He looks at you and the earnestness in his eyes is undeniable. Yeah, I do. When you break it down all like that, it's actually pretty obvious. Coda looks relieved, and as his gaze leaves yours, it wanders to the shelves. He waves at the various titles. So, pick your nightmare fuel. What are you scared of? Got any of those old Screamer videos where you follow a dot with your eyes and then zombie face jump scares you? Really, Azrael? You're standing amongst greatness, and you choose some cheesy internet gag from the early aughts? Have I taught you nothing? No, I just want to see your face. Cute. I should... Coda trails off, his eyes going wide as he stares at something just over your shoulder. Oh my god, Azrael. What? You whirl around ready to defend yourself, only to find the aisle empty. Hit pause. You took the time to hear Coda out. Gotcha. I knew he was doing that. I could vow to get him back, give him a playful shove. Oh, we're gonna playfully flirty shove him, is what we're gonna do. You plant a hand on his firm chest and push, only for Coda to catch your wrist. I should kill you for that. An open threat. You really know the way to a man's heart, Azrael. He shoots you a smirk and pulls you in, moving you closer to him until you're only an inch or two apart. I've got one more thing that might get me all the way in. Oh yeah? He wraps his arms around your waist, pulling you to him. Show me. Your eyes linger on his lips for a long moment before closing the gap and covering his mouth with a kiss. I mean, why not? Tyler just basically bailed on us. Sometime later, you find yourself still poring over Stabby Joe's records. Is it just me and Coda at this point? Realistically, I should go home and sleep, but I really don't want to go back to an empty house right now. A murderer running around makes it creepy enough, but with Destiny gone, I don't want to face that yet. You shake your head to clear it and focus your attention back onto the files in front of you, only to hear a set of footsteps approaching. Excuse me, you're Azrael Carpenter, right? That's me. This was just left for you at the circulation desk. Box for me? Who even knows I'd be here long enough to send me something? Okay, new message from Bex St. Regis. Did you get my package? You take the small package, but before you get the chance to open it, your phone buzzes in your pocket with a text from Bex. Did you get my package? Yep, opening it now. Is it more evidence? I'll let you see for yourself. This is sus. Like, this whole scenario right here, she knows where I am. She's sending me shit. This is sus. She's probably going to send me, like, a trophy from her victim. Nervous, you set your phone on the desk and open the box, only to drop it quickly when you see what's inside. Oh my god, is that a nose? Like, that would have been my answer even without reading it. The box hits the floor, sending the severed nose falling out and onto the carpet, and all you can hear is the sound of your own voice screaming. Oh my god. The librarian faints, and as you back away from the bloodstain spreading out on the carpet, your phone buzzes again on the desk. You grab it quickly. I thought I'd return this since I found it in my business. What? I don't think that's her. It's probably her nose. It's you, isn't it? It's the killer, and they've got Bex's phone, and I bet that's Bex's nose. What the hell did you do to Bex? Oh, Azrael, let's just say Bex is no longer with us. I knew it. But at least a part of her will always be with you. OMG. No more reporters, Azrael. From here on out, it's just you and me. Oh, wow, what a cliffhanger to end that on. I knew. Oh, wow, I knew that was going to be a really good cliffhanger. Oh, that was definitely a good chapter. I'm looking forward to the next one, because the last couple ones, they weren't really huge cliffhangers, but this was a good one, because now we know Bex is dead. So whoever she was, like, tailing for information where she thought they were the killer, I mean, did we cause her death? Telling Zare that we suspected them? You know, is it possible, or even lucky? Tyler, they all left. It can't be Coda, because he was there with us the whole entire time. And I don't know if he was there in the evening when we were reading over the stuff, but he was there with us while they were all gone. So it could be one of those three. Could be the mayor, too. Kind of sus in the mayor. Because, I think they said in the story that she became mayor like in 2003. And then the murders stopped. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, so chapter 7 is going to be A Brush with Death. On your quest to find the killer, you're forced to look at your inner circle. So it probably is one of our friends. Probably is. So, let me know what you guys think about the game in the comment down below. I'm enjoying this. Choices never disappoints me, in all honesty. When they do these horror games, I'm so glad that they decided to come back to the horror games, because it's been so long since they've done one. So, maybe like around Halloween, I'll pick up It Lives. That was a really good one, to give us, something for spooky time. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, who do you think is the killer? Do you think it's somebody in our group? I mean, they obviously knew Bex, and the only person who knew that we were working that reporter was there. And I'm kind of sus of him. Kind of sus. So, but leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye.